Okay, so a friend of mine from a Google Sheets group had this request, and it's a little bit unusual. So there's a spreadsheet here um, of all of these different sheets, and she wanted the tabs sorted in order, but not traditional alphabetical or numerical order. What these tabs that have these six-digit representations, those are dates. So this would be April 19th, 2025. Um, then there's the underscore, and then there's the 2 or 3 character initials for the customer. But then we've also got stuff like this, CL, brides, this person. Um, there are sheets that do not have, or tabs that do not have date designations in their names the way most of them do, and there's maybe 7 or 8 that don't. So the idea is that when you perform the sort function, it ascertains what day you're performing the function on, and whatever these dates are, we want to go in order of how many days away from the day of the sort it is. And that can go in both directions, forward and backward. There are some dates that are actually before today, today being November 2nd, 2024, when I'm doing this. There are a couple from October. I guess these are accounts receivable that aren't closed out yet. So whether it's 5 days before or 5 days after, that's going to come before something that's 6 days into the future. Okay? And so on and so on and so on. And then the remaining sheets that are not date designated, those come afterwards, and those are to be alphabetized normally. So this was a slight challenge, but it took me a little while, but I figured out how to do it. And I'm going to go through the coding steps with you. I'm not going to perform the sort function quite yet, but you can see they're all mixed up, right? I mean, really, really in a completely mixed up fashion. Okay, so I'm going to go through the steps and I'm going to log to show you how I come along. So we call it sort sheet by date, spreadsheet app get active spreadsheet. That's super common. Sheets is spreadsheet get sheets. So that's going to get all the names of the sheets. Today equals new date. Um, and sheet names is going to create an array of sheets, and it says map sheet get sheet name. So that's going to go through all the sheets and create an array, and we're going to log them, and it's going to show you the array, and it's going to show you the array length. There's 42 sheets. Okay, so watch what happens when I hit run here. Okay, so there's the array showing all of the sheets in the current order that they're in, which is obviously unsorted and mixed up. And 42 is the number of sheets we've got. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and I'm going to take this logger function out for now because we're going to go further along the thing. So now I created an array called uh, dated array. It's empty, undated sheets. And then what we do is we go for I equals 0 through the length, which is 42, of the sheet names array. And what we're going to do is we're going to ascertain if the first digit, or I should say character, if the first character in the sheet name is a number or a letter. So this is if it's not a number. Isnan means is not a number. So we're going to do is not a number. I know that sounds grammatically awkward, double negative, but that's how it's done to ascertain if it is a number. So if it is a number, then the sheet names I being 0, the first one, we're gonna slice it, meaning we're gonna take a look at the first character. Okay, So if that's not a number, now we're going to go through these steps between this brace and this brace if it is in fact a number, okay? So what we do is we parse the first two characters, 0, all right? Um, that's going to be M, our month, right? Day is going to be the second, the third and fourth characters, which are 2 and 4. The way that slice works, remember that 0 is the first element in any string or array. So it goes from here to this element or this character in the string, non-inclusive. So 0, 2 means do 0 and 1, but not 2. Stop at 2. Okay? Same here. 2, not 4, but 2 and 3. And then 4, not 6. It's 4 and 5, which again are actually characters 5 and 6 because it starts at 0. Okay. But you get the idea? Month, day, and year. Now, we're going to formulate an actual date. In other words, we're going to take that and turn it into a real date that JavaScript can work with. Sheet date is new date, and then it's defined here. See here, new date with nothing in the parentheses means the time right this second, the date and time. All right. Here, we're actually defining it. It's y plus 2000, because remember, it's only a 2-digit year, 24, 25, 26. So we're going to add 2000 to it. M minus 1. Why minus 1? Because it's also a 0 index. Okay? Otherwise, if you don't do that, then October looks like November. I know it's odd, but that's how it is. And then D is day. Okay. So, so that creates it. So even though it's the sheet name numerical representation of the date is done in the traditional month, day, year format, to create a date is done in the year, month, day format, which actually makes sense because it goes in descending order. The year is the largest quantity of time, the month is the second largest, the date is the smallest. Okay. Now we're going to ascertain how many days away from today's date that this is. So we take new date, which is today, minus sheet date, and we divide it by 86,400,000. Why? Because JavaScript measures time differences in milliseconds. Okay, and a day is 86,400,000 milliseconds. Why? Because obviously there's 1,000 milliseconds in a second. There are 86,400 seconds in a day. So that makes 86,400,000. All right, so we divide it by that and we subtract, and that'll give us the number of days it is. And then if that number is in the negative, then what we do is we multiply that by -1. Because again, we don't care if it's days before or after, we just care to get the dates that are the fewest days away in either direction, forward or backward, sorted first, okay? Days away equals days away to fixed 0. That turns it into an integer, no decimal point, fixed 0. If I did fixed 2, it would be 3.54, but fixed 0 would just yield 3.54, I guess, would yield a 4 because it would be rounded up. Anyway, you get the idea. Dated sheet array, which we created up here, which is a blank array for now, we're going to push. Push means add an element to the array. And it is this element consists of 2 elements itself. So it's going to be what's called a 2-dimensional array, an array of arrays. Each subarray has 2 elements, the number of days away and the original sheet name. okay? And we're going to push that into date sheet array. Else means if it is a letter and not a number. And that we're going to push into a separate array called undated sheets. And we're simply going to push the sheet names into that. Okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through that, and I'm going to show you what that looks like with the logger, except instead of sheet names, actually we'll just keep sheet names. I'll just keep adding to the log. So we're going to do logger, log, and we're going to do dated sheet array. Okay. It's going to show us that, and it's going to show us undated sheets. Oh, I should put logger. Sorry. It's bad practice, really, to have this all on one line, but I'm doing it so that I can cut away one line at a time and move it down further along the code as we go. But normally you would have each one of these on its own line. Okay, so now we're going to run it and see what the log produces. Okay, so here is our original sheet array with just the sheet names, right? And then it's 42, that's the count. Now, see how it's a two-dimensional array? See how there's two brackets in the beginning and two brackets at the end? Because this bracket and this bracket encapsulate all of these subarrays, which are themselves encapsulated by a bracket here and a bracket here and a bracket here and a bracket here, okay? And they each have two elements. So this one's 19 days away. And in fact, today is the 2nd, 11, 22, 24 is 19 days away. This is the 23rd. So it's saying that it is 20 days away. Okay. Now you might be saying, well, wait a minute. Why is it showing as 20 days away when in fact the 23rd is 21 days away? The reason is the zero index, but it doesn't matter as long as they're in a reasonable order, okay? So this one's only 6 days away. Some of these, look, 538 days away. It's a year and a half out, and it's April of 2026, okay? Starting to get the idea? So that is our dated sheets array, and then we have the undated sheets array, which are just the alphabetized sheet names, and you'll see that those kinds of sheet names here are no longer in here. I've split them into two arrays. And we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 of the 42 are undated, and then this is 34. Okay? Now we're going to move further down the code. And I'm going to take this line of logging and we're going to move it further down. Now we're going to sort it. Okay? So now we're going to sort it. And I'm going to put the logger thing here. And I'm going to go through this. So here's how it sorts. This syntax, and by the way, there is a more concise syntax known as arrow syntax. I did not use that in this, but I could use it in this. What this does is we want to sort by the first element of each subarray. In other words, the number of days away that it is. So, and again, because it's the first element, it's a 0 element. So what we do is it's function a comma b, because there's two. We're going to have two comparators, and it's a0, meaning the first element, minus b0, and it does a comparison and goes through it and sorts. Okay? All right. Now, undated sheets is just a plain sort. We're just sorting it alphabetically, right? Okay. Now, here's what I do. I now I put them all together. For j equals 0, j equals uh, dated sheet array length, right? Just dated sheet names. We're going to push the dated sheet array of each one into that, okay? And then just dated sheet names is going to be, we're going to concatenate that with undated sheets. In other words, we're combining the two-dimensional arrays into one two-dimensional array. So one of them the first one has 34 subarrays, the second one has 8 subarrays, and the new one's going to, again, have the original number of 42, because we're going to have the 34 dated ones first, sorted, then the 8 alphabetized ones sorted, and that's going to be known as combined array. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all of it by doing log dated sheet array. Okay, dated sheet array, we're going to log that first. We're going to do undated sheets. And then lastly, we're going to log the whole thing, the combined one. All right, so let's hit save. All right, now we're going to run it. All right, so now take a look. This is our original sheet array. This is the one with the number of days. This is the sorted alphabetical one, right? And this is it again. I don't know why I did it twice, but okay. Oh, and then that's right. And then here we go. This is the combined array. This is the one this is the ultimate result. So these. Oh, that's right, because I got rid of the element. Sorry, yeah, that's what this is now. So this is the two-dimensional array with still the day away and the sheet name. But we don't want the days away. We only use the days away for sorting purposes, right? So now we get rid of them by pushing only the second element into this new array. And that would be this. So these are all sorted. And you can see 11, 9, 24, 10, 26, 24. And the last one is October 3rd, 2026. So basically almost 2 years out. I guess these brides, they book these wedding things pretty far out. All right. And then as you can see, this is alphabetical. Bride, CL, calendar, blah, blah, blah. Right? Okay. So now we have the array sorted. But that doesn't actually put the sheets in order. And that is what this is. So now I'm going to take out this logging line altogether because we don't want it in our final code. That's just for instructional purposes. This is the part that actually moves the sheets around according to that sort order. So combined array for each name and index, and it goes through sheet, get sheet by name, spreadsheet, active sheet, move active sheet, index +1. So it basically moves them all around. All right. And then lastly, it activates the first sheet. That's optional. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. Now I'm going to go back to my thing, and I'm going to show you that I have this right here. Sort by date, then name. Okay? And you're going to actually see the sheets move. Watch. See how they're all moving around here at the bottom? And that's it. So, as you can see, we got pricing at the end, popular. So these are all the last ones, alphabetical. We've got this one way the hell out in October of 2026 at the end of the numerical ones. And if we go to the beginning, these are the ones that are closest. And that is how that works.